G'day, I'm Josh Allen. I'm a filmmaker, a musician, and a follower of Jesus, and this is my 2023 recap. In the film world, one of the films I've directed that's in post-production at the moment is called Books and Birds. I'm used to being sort of the writer and director, but in the case of this film, my friend Jade actually wrote the script. And so that was a fun experience to translate words that for the most part weren't mine, and honouring those, but also making them my own through the way I directed the actors, the way I collaborated with my director of photography to sort of frame the shots, the way I worked with my composer as well. So I'm not sure if that's something I'll do too much, because I find that when my writer and director brain come together, that's usually when my most personal work is created. However, I'm not going to rule out that idea in general, because I've actually really enjoyed not having the burden of having to just write something myself. Another really fun project I got to direct was a short film called Sparring. A lot of the stuff I've worked on so far is drama, romance, coming of age, kind of slice of life, which is kind of a world I love to play in, but it was really fun trying something new and different. There was combat, there was more of a suspense angle. As a kid, I loved sort of stuff where there was action involved, where there was a sense of heroism and heroes and villains. It's definitely fun to create a little bit more action-packed kind of stuff.
Hi, John. My name's Nadine.
I know.
So another fun project I had the privilege of working on was Session 7, sort of a rebound film. And so what I mean by that is I've had a short film I've worked on with a bunch of collaborators on and off for the last 1, maybe 2 years now. Both times we've tried to shoot it, some pretty obstructive logistical challenges have come in. So because that was put on hold for a season, my kind of rebound film was the most small scale with the smallest crew and the least contingencies possible. There are a lot of very stable building blocks, but the new and fresh layer I was trying to work with was trying to create some level of interest within just one room with 2 actors. We got to experiment with a bit of improv. So the majority of the opening sequence of this film is purely improvised, but then the rest of it is scripted. So it was a fun experience kind of blending improv and scripted together. One of the drawbacks with doing everything yourself on more limited budget and gear, the quality of the image or the quality of the way the film looks might not always be the same standard as when you outsource those things to your collaborators, but it helped me stay inspired and not discouraged by this other short film project that had to get sort of put on hold.
One thing I learned in this process, I couldn't do it by myself.
So while I've been working on the short films, I've also been intentionally developing a larger project. It might still be a little while until you see anything of that or anything promoted for that, but at this stage, it's essentially in the refining the script, developing the project kind of stage. It's one of the few films of recent years that I've worked on that overtly addresses kind of topics of faith. I'm able to unify not just my love of filmmaking, but my love of God and the challenges that come from being a Christian. It's a project that gives people both within and outside of the church an honest, complex, but hopeful view of what it looks like to be someone within the church and to be someone who wrestles with what faith, but also what doubting can look like as well. But yeah, enough of that. Don't want to spoil that for you too much. And rather than talking about it, I'd rather actually work on it. 2023 was the first year for me that I uploaded music to Spotify and sort of started taking my music more seriously. This year I got to release my first 2 singles in my EP. And so the first single, Regeneration, that was a really fun instrumental track that kind of was the sort of opening to kind of the EP. And then the second track, Sanctify Me, was the first time a vocal/lyrical song that I made got sort of publicly promoted and put out there. Another thing I've really learnt from making these songs is the production process. A song goes through multiple stages, writing it, then creating sort of a rough demo, and then producing it, and then mixing it, and then mastering it, and then releasing it. I got my songs up to a certain point of quality, but they weren't quite where I think they could have been. And so I essentially outsourced that to some co-producers. Working with them taught me a lot about how to record instruments, how to layer things, how to create space, how to fill things out more. My next single, Justified, that's set to release hopefully sort of late January, early Feb next year. And then following that, I've also got the final track of the EP, which is the title track called Glory. A little bit down the line, that will be released as well, and that will basically finish my first EP, which is yeah, really exciting. So I've been writing new stuff, I've been making little demos for new stuff. Not sure exactly when those songs will get released or how many of those songs I'll actually deem sort of good enough to put out there, but it's really creatively inspiring to not just have one project at once, but to have multiple things to sort of attach yourself to. Another exciting thing I've been able to work on this year is the debut EP of a music duo that my sister and I started called Freedom Found. That's been a lot of fun working with my little sister because we've known each other, well, ever since she was born. And so certain things that I'm better at, certain things that she's better at, we've kind of helped get each other to a new kind of fun creative level. So that's the end of my kind of creative updates for you, but the most exciting update, which some of you may know about and some of you may not if you don't know me very well, is that I got married, and that has been the best. It's been a joy and a pleasure to have someone be that close to you, to grow in faith, serving people, serving family, friends, local church. I think just having that life partner for both of us has really encouraged us, has grown us spiritually. I would highly recommend it to anyone. I know I'm very early in kind of the whole married life scenario, but I'm excited and keen to see how we'll be challenged, how we'll grow, and how the two of us can be a light and a benefit to the world around us. So that finishes up my update this year. Thanks for tuning in. I hope it's been helpful, and I'm keen to continue creating, continue exploring, continue growing. For now, I'll see you later. Bye.